Morning guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs YouTube channel. Got some steel, got some 1mm electric galv with some footprints and everything on it. Thanks to a mate who hooked me up and everywhere is out of stock. Well, they were out of stock, I only went one place. So, plan for this video is to get back into the boot just for a change. I'm finally going to get round to finish boxing in over the C-notch. So let's get into it, have a look. Albeit with my little boo-boo. Okay, so if you've watched some of the other videos in the boot on the old Area 51 project, you may have noticed all this going on in the back here. Probably not this tank, which I've had for ages and is too big for where I want to put it, because I want to put it up on top of the notch, but this is like too tall, too wide. So I've found another tank online, so I've just got to get my shit together and order one of those, and which will be able to fit between these pockets here. May even mount off the parcel tray, I'm not sure yet. But what my plan is for today, trying to think ahead and plan ahead all the time is kind of difficult when you've got a memory like a goldfish, is to build the covers to cover all this up and seal up the inner boot trunk cavity. But again, I want to make it all removable so I can kind of unscrew everything, take it out, so I can access all the plumbing and things like that from, if need be, if you get what I'm saying. Now I've made up one part of this which is now too big. I made it up a couple of years ago, a year or so ago, when I was doing some of this stuff in here before, but that's a cover for the front part. I'll still be able to use it, I'm just going to have to cut it down, because what I'm going to do is step this down and make a cover that sort of comes up here. These fittings probably won't stay like this. I'll probably put like a 90-degree fitting on top of the bags, maybe, but I won't drill any holes for any ear lines and stuff yet until I've collected all my parts together to figure out how that's all going to work. But now I've got a plan how this is where it gets tricky, to kind of get it to tuck in across the back there and be all kind of airtightish, if I can get it to work. Yeah, so I'm gonna make some plans and maybe do some arts and crafts or some templating on bits of cardboard and stuff to figure out how I'm gonna get it all to fit nice, and set about cutting up some steel, and might even drag out the old bead roller again and try to do some bead rolling. I'm no expert on bead rolling, because I've only done about 4 things with that bead roller since I got it, so, and they've been really simple and basic, which is probably what this will be, since it's gonna all be covered up anyway. And yeah, so let's get at it. Hey guys, just want to quickly interrupt this video to politely ask you to subscribe if you haven't done so already. That'd be really choice, and yeah, because otherwise you'll miss out on all that is the Area 51 project, and you don't want that, surely. Okay, back onto it. Alrighty, I think I have a plan of sorts. Kind of. There's my little cardboard arts and crafts of kind of how I'm going to make the back end of it, sort of thing. And repeat that over that side, and obviously have it filled in the middle, and trim it up to fit around the back brace of the seat and stuff, but I'll do that when we get the main part sort of made. So now I've got to set about transferring this all over and working out how big a piece I need to cut, and then throw some swages into it, and then start trimming it up and folding it up, I think. Okay, so update. This is pretty much my piece marked out. I think might have to do some double checking, make sure, because it seems awful short. But just got to work out what I'm going to do as far as some swaging in here, just to give it it's going to have all these folds, which will kind of give it a bit of rigidity. Like it's going to be folded up and out, and that's going to be folded down, and these are going to be folded up and over and stuff. So just might put something through here, maybe just put a couple of runs through, or maybe 3, just because I can. And then it's going to be largely unseen, but if it takes a bit of the drumming out of it or vibration and gives it a little bit more rigid stiffness, that's kind of what I'm aiming for. You reckon? Get where I'm picking up what I'm putting down? Anyway, I might draw some lines on for that, cut the end off it, double check my measurements before I cut it up, and run a couple of beads down it. You reckon? Okay, so you've probably seen me doing that fold if you're watching, which I assume you are if you're watching this bit. But anyway, I don't have a long box pan folder or press brake or anything like that, so a couple of bits of RHS that were actually welded into the floor of the 51 when I got it as cross bracing and stuff, so I've repurposed them as a kind of folding, one of the things I use for folding stuff there, especially if it's a little bit longer. Now it's not terribly accurate. If you're wanting a really tight, hard, sharp corner, then this is not your go-to. A couple of bits of angle iron would probably be better because they have a sharper edge. These are a bit rounded, but it works in a pinch. So if you're in your garage trying to figure out how to fold something, a couple of bits of steel, some clamps or a vise, and you can get stuff folded. Also, don't know what happened with the bead rolling exercise, but I went off my lines somewhat. I think it'll be alright. They're not great. I think I got caught up looking at one thing when I should have been looking at another whilst on the handle, but live and learn. They'll be alright though for the purpose of this. If it was one of those showy kind of bead rolly things, then no, I'd be starting again, but I'm too cheap to do that. So here we have it, first fold. I'll figure out how to get this one in now without folding that. Figure that out. Next, might do these side fold, one of these side folds first on the old little press brake, and then I think I'll start doing some test fitting before I go too far. Simple switcheroo of some numbers. It's supposed to be 980, I did 890. So start again. Okay, so you know earlier when I said I would better check my measurements and stuff like that. Seagull's having a right old seagull party over there. Well, I checked my measurements, but I checked them wrong twice somehow, so I ended up 100 millimeters short, 4 inches for the Imperial speakers among us. There you have it. I got them to start again, so I'll get back up to here, then I'll hopefully catch these up and not cock it up again. Hopefully. Anyway, such is life. Okay, so back to where I was before I made my dyslexia error. Foot's better now, so carry on. Okay, so big mess. Here we are, Mark II, pretty much there. As you can see, doing these kind of like folds with bits of steel and stuff like that aren't really the most accurate, but if I can get it close enough, I can usually bring it back to some degree with the old bits of metal and hammers and stuff like that. So just got to see whether it needs any more trimming and hammering and stuff, and then I've got to go and round off a whole bunch of corners and clean up all the edges and make it just look a little bit prettier-ish, maybe, and then figure out how to screw it in there. Okay, update. So there's my roughed in, as I just mentioned, sitting in place. Now this piece here I made ages ago when I did some of this other stuff and whatnot, and it's now too big because I've changed my plan slightly. So I just got to trim this down and get it to fit, then yeah, go and clean up all this stuff and make it just look a little nicer, and probably drill some holes and put some rib nuts in some stuff. You reckon? I don't know if I'll be able to get my rib nut gun into some of the areas I want to put it into, but sure I'll figure out a way of doing it, but I'd have to use the old nut and socket type trick. But anyway, so wandering off topic a bit. Yeah, so just going to clean up some of this steel around some corners, just make it a little bit nicer, cut this thing down, and figure out how I'm going to fit it all in there with fitting fasteners and stuff. There's always one that just gives you hell all the way through. Well, sometimes there's like 4, and in this case it was 4, but this is the only one I'm showing you. But I'm going to get a tack, clear that thread out, try and fix this. I think it might be stuffed. Okay, for some reason I think don't think I tapped that all the way through. I didn't use rib nuts along the bottom here. I used I tapped into the old 5mm flat bar that was running across the back of there that I put in. If you watched that video, this is a bit tight, this one too. Ugh. Okay, back again. Right, as I was saying, just about finished. Oh God. Sometimes wonder why I decided to use these Allen head dome screw bloody things, because the Allen keys always fall out of them. And they're a bit of a pain, to be honest. They look quite cool, but they're a nuisance to do up all the time. Right, one more. Oh, put a long one on there, I haven't got any short ones there. There we are. Well guys, that's pretty much it. Come around and show you the finished product. There she has it. There it is. Boxed in C-notch on the bang my head, on the Area 51 project. Kind of worked out alright in the end. I managed to butcher up a couple of holes by drilling them in the wrong place, or putting the rib nuts in the wrong place, or rib certs, whatever you want to call them. Nothing, a few washers won't hurt anyway. So I mean, all this hardware is going to have washers and stuff on there anyway, just for appearances and that, and to help cover up the big holes that I made up the back there, and one up there. Talk about amateur hour at DMAC Customs. There's another one over there. I could maybe weld them up, sort of TIG them up and re-drill them now that I know where the hole's supposed to go, but I probably won't. I'll probably just put big washers on. I was going to swage that through there, but then that's that 1.2mm stuff, so it's pretty heavy, so I'm not sure that I'd be able to get nicer swages in there, and they're going to be a little bit more visible than these top ones. So I might not. I might just leave it flat. I don't think it's going to drum and stuff very much, so yeah, leave it at that. Oh well, I'll leave it at that for this video, guys. Got a huge mess to clean up, and see, like, there's my Mark 1, my little boo-boo, which is only really any good for some small patch panels, and I don't know now. Look how far off I got on my swaging line. Not very good. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that for this video. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, it'd be really cool if you did. No worries if you don't know, but then you won't get to see the rest of this and see my grubby self just fumbling my way through this project in my garage with my limited array of tools, but we make do. So if anyone kind of gets anything out of, like, figuring out how to sort of, I don't know, what I'm trying to say is, like, I haven't got all the right tools to do the job, but I make do with what I've got, and if that helps anyone seeing how I've done it, then that's awesome. If it also helps people realise that that's not how they want to do things, then that's awesome too. So I just make do with what I've got, and as time goes on and money prevails, I'll buy more stuff, but I just don't really have the room for many more big tools like brakes and rollers and things like that now that I've got 2 projects in the garage. But anyway, till next time, take it easy. Peace.